Black Dog After Dark is recorded in a video store by people who have been drinking. We swear a lot, and there's spoilers. It's not safe for work, unless you work in a video store and have also been drinking.
Or the bad lieutenant in Harvey Keitel's Naked in Your Walls.
Giving me a ticket. Masturbating while he gives me a ticket.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
I know that, Mr. Man. They also call them cereals. I'm not stupid, you know.
The story is ludicrous. You can imagine where it goes from here.
Fixes the cable.
It's here, in this house. Now, it wants them. And before they knew it was happening, it had already begun. Jumping at shadows. Wondering what's real. If it doesn't scare you to death, it will find another way. Of unknown origin.
I shouldn't be revealing secrets on a podcast.
Yeah, don't pee in the safe.
I'll just put it on the floor over here.
I'd be impressed if you could. Are you that tall that you could pee in the safe?
Well, it would just trickle down through the cracks.
Trickle down economics. You having a beer?
Fuck yeah.
Correct. Podcast time.
All right, are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right.
Of unknown origin.
Of unknown origin.
It was Alex's pick, and so Alex, take it away. What are your memories of this film?
Well, I first encountered this film through a book about 2004, 2005. It was
Kama Sutra?
Sorry, wait a minute.
Actually, it was the Celestine
Hold on.
Prophecy.
I have to interrupt and I have to rewind because we have not introduced our special guest.
Oh, we should introduce
Or
ourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Ourselves. Let's
Okay.
do the introduction.
Okay, Dylan Reimer.
I'm Darren Gay. I own this little establishment where we all hang out and talk movies.
I'm Alex Chisholm. I'm an employee of Black Dog Video, and I also program movies and events at the Rio Theater in Vancouver.
Hi, I'm Josie Boyce, and I'm a former Black Dog manager, now Black Dog prol.
Proletariat.
Happily so. It's way less stressful, and I'm glad to be doing this podcast. Yeah.
So let's rewind to the intro. So Alex,
Kama Sutra, right? That's where we were.
Title of the film?
Well, let's just pretend like
Okay,
the last
yeah, all right.
minute and a half before we did the intros didn't happen. So your memories of this, Alex?
Okay, I encountered this film through a book, not the Kama Sutra.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Celestine Prophecy. No, it wasn't that either. About a decade ago, actually more around 2004, 2005, I'm a big trivia book reader, if you can believe it.
I can't
believe it.
I know. I think
I
I seem to remember it was one of my roommate's books. He reads a lot of these books too. Perfect match.
Next, you'll be telling me you read the liner notes of records.
I'll tell you, I'm full of surprises.
And watch the credits after movies when they end.
I'm full of surprises. Yeah, there was this list. I think it was one of those books. It was like a People's Almanac book of lists. They're just these factoid books. And just out of the blue, there was this list in the middle of the books. It was mostly political stuff and that. There's a lot of pop culture in them too, like top 10 lists and stuff, facts. But there was a list by John Waters in the middle of this book, and he had 5 of the most underappreciated films of the past 10 years. And this book that I was reading in was from about the mid-90s, early 90s. Included on the list was Tremors, which I had already seen, the great Kevin Bacon movie.
I love Tremors.
Yeah, because people forget that's a great movie, and a lot of people know now, but it actually really underperformed at the time. It was kind of forgotten in its first run. It was like something on video and cable that became popular.
I never saw it until it was on cable.
But anyway, he mentioned Tremors, but in the middle of this list, I can't remember the other movies, but one of them was of unknown origin, and I can't remember the exact description, but it was something smart ass like best giant killer rat movie ever. And I was like, oh my God, this sounds great. And I remembered the list. I'd read the list, and literally a couple of days later, by coincidence, Julian Stockdale, fine man who built the shelves of Black Dog Video, he used to live over by Granville Street in Broadway, and there was a video store over there. This was around 2004, so DVDs were still the big thing. There was a store over there that only had, of course, but I just mean a brand new, it was still relatively new. The store was stocked with VHS tapes that had no DVDs, and Julian happened to have a VHS player, and this movie was on the shelf. So we watched it, but I think I was like really baked at the time or something. It was really late at night, and I fell asleep about halfway through. But I remember as I fell asleep, I heard all this horrific screaming from the movie, and And not to jump ahead too far, but the next day when I woke up, I said, "Hey man, how'd that movie end? It was crazy." And we didn't have time to watch it the next day. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing either. I was too tired." He said, "But the last scene I saw when you fell asleep, a rat jumps out of the cake at these little kids."
Right.
So anyway, so it just sounded great. So anyway, all these years later, just to fast forward, reel it in. We do sales here at Black Dog Video. We'll acquire collections and whatnot. And there was a pile of DVDs. Like sometimes we'll just put them out for sale, and sometimes we'll keep them for our collection. And this happened to be on there. I was like, "There's that crazy rat movie John Waters talked about." So I actually sat down and watched it from start to finish.
Okay.
Our copy in December.
That helps.
Wow.
So in bits and pieces.
I like watching movies start to finish.
The best
on
way.
that track.
It's like
Yeah,
eating a meal. You don't want to do bite by bite over a period of years.
No.
You'd rather just consume it, you know?
No.
Josie, any memories? Did you see this at any point before this week?
You know, I never did see it, but I feel like I remember seeing the VHS box on the shelf.
Oh, it's a great
in the
box.
horror section or whatever, and maybe looking at it, watching it just the other day. I thought it was awesome. Peter Weller and his youthful cheekbones
Yes.
are in this film.
Yeah.
He used a great effect as Bill Lee and
youthful
Naked
as I've
Bump.
seen them. This is
It's
the youngest
1983.
Peter Weller that I've ever seen, because
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a movie with him in it before this movie.
Even younger Jennifer Dale.
I guess Buckaroo Banzai and RoboCop was after this, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
What year was this? I didn't even bother to look it up.
1983.
This movie was 83?
I saw it a long time ago. I didn't remember anything about it. And when watching it again yesterday, little bits and pieces came back to me. It's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this part. Oh yeah, right." But I still, it's if I watched it, it was probably like in the 80s on VHS. May have been Smoking with Alex or something like that. I'm not too sure, although I didn't know him then. But yeah, I didn't remember any of it, and it was. I watched it yesterday.
But you were aware of it.
I was aware it existed. I remember the box.
Did you know there was a rat in it?
I think so.
Well, I had told you because of the parallels,
Yeah.
that conflict you're having in your life
Yes,
right now.
yes. And I knew after
I don't
watching it that there was a rat in it as well.
Yes.
As I was watching it, I became aware of
You
what it was
don't, you
about.
don't care to discuss the real life
Oh,
parallel?
I'll get there. Don't you worry. What's
the real life
Because
parallel?
I told Darren he should watch it because of that.
I've got
parallel.
rats living in my walls in my house.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Are
unfortunate.
they like really smart? Like
I'm
this
not
rat?
as smart as this fucking
This
rat.
rat's like the Wile E. Coyote of rats.
It really is.
What about you? You seen it before? You watched it before?
Honestly, I hadn't even heard of it until I saw it come in. It's just a black background with green writing that I think is like melting, you know, like it's like, and and so I watched it when I was doing laundry the other day because I had to for this podcast.
TV in your laundry room? Or
Well,
do you do laundry in your
I
your
live in the
living room?
laundry room. That's
Oh.
that's how expensive the city is.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I just have to put a quarter in the machine every 20 minutes.
I thought you.
and that's my rent.
I thought you beat your clothes on a rock down by the river.
No, I've moved up like the
Oh,
Jeffersons.
Wow. Look at you. Right.
To
This
an
is probably
expectation.
the first movie, the only movie so far that none of us really has seen,
Yeah.
or has any recollection. At least because we're on new ground here, people. We're through the looking glass.
So let's talk about this movie. The director is Fulci, is it?
No, God, no.
George P. Cosmatos.
Yes.
The director of Tombstone. and
Tombstone
others.
and father of the guy
Bride?
who did the Black Rainbow movie.
Correct.
I
Beyond
thought
Black
he
Rainbow,
directed
yes.
Father of the Bride, and I'm like,
No, father of the guy who did the Black Rainbow movie a couple
Beyond
years ago,
Black
and the
Rainbow.
new Nicolas Cage movie that's supposed to be nuts.
Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
So 1983, whoever that director is, in the
Director
opening.
of Tombstone.
Yeah.
What?
It's a good film.
Did he like work for the Canon Group? For some reason.
Yeah. He did a bunch of movies with them, and he did.
I'm looking for the box. We should know the person.
Okay.
It's Cosmatos, George P. Cosmatos.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
He directed a big Stallone picture too, did he not?
He did.
Over the top.
Not
Rhinestone?
over the top. The other movie was Cobra. That's worth
Cobra.
mentioning.
Oh, that
He directed
piece of
Tombstone
shit.
and Cobra.
That's one of the dumbest movies ever.
And I think a couple of other films of varying
Although I
quality
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
varying quality.
Varying quality, but what I liked, I actually looked up and hadn't done much else but a couple of interesting things too. The DP on this is like, because the photography is really good for something that was made
Yeah.
for $4.
Yeah.
Right.
back
This
then-
is a super low budget film.
It's a Canadian
Right,
tax
it's a
shelter.
tax shelter
It's
film.
a one location film.
It's basically one location, but it's shot so well.
Yeah.
Like it's just like bang 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 shot. Like just they probably made it in like 4 weeks.
So nothing about this, the title or the box suggests there's a giant rat in this movie. So that was
The
pretty
big
surprising.
scratch.
Yeah, but that could be anything.
It's true, and
Yeah,
also
it could be a bear.
I
it could
looked
be
up
like some bikers with like.
Okay, no. Oh, full disclosure, by the way,
Freddy Krueger.
because this is going to come up a lot. No, I've had a number of pet rats in my life. I am a
Really?
full-on 100%. Oh, I am a rat fan.
You're a rat man?
I'm a rat man.
Wow.
Cheers.
What do they do for you? Like they're just
You
like
know what?
they're like hamsters, right?
They clean your hair for a start. You come home and they're just so happy to see you. They're like little dogs, and then they sit on your
Yeah, that's
shoulder,
what I want.
and they like little monkeys. They like if you have a beard, they're like, oh,
Hey
it's
Dylan, what's that rat doing? Oh, he's cleaning my hair. Just got home from work. My hair's all dirty.
It's my hair cleaning pet.
What job did you have to get your hair so
All I
dirty?
know is like none of my spouses or partners have ever like cleaned my hair
your
for
filthy
me.
hair, your filthy
No.
work hair.
They're not as fun when like in this movie they're like infesting your life and they're
Yes.
wild and they.
To be fair,
and they're not domesticated rats at all.
They're not cleaning your hair.
They're not cleaning your hair at all.
these are rats that I purchased
Yeah.
from a breeder down by the river.
You're
Why
fancy
just
rat.
catch one in the
You're a
alley?
fancy rat man, is what you're saying.
If you want some
I
rats,
am. I'm a snob. I'm a rat snob.
if you want some rats, go over to my house. You can have all of my rats.
Okay, I'm not a property owner, but like all I'm saying is this movie unfair to rats.
Really?
No, but I used to go on tour with my rats and all of it, right? Like a couple of rats. I know it's
Were they? So you were doing like rat comedy?
Yes, I was doing comedy for rats.
I'm not thinking the rats are in the audience.
Hey,
I'm
sharp
thinking-
cheddar, am I right?
Cleaning the human's hair. Come
Oh
on.
my God! I have to. And we get into the opening credits, and nothing is suggesting rats.
Just everything's suggesting Canada. Like it's,
Oh, it sure is.
It's
Montreal.
littered with Canadian actors. Was it Montreal? I thought it was Toronto. Was it Montreal?
I believe it's filmed in Montreal.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
It looks
pretty-
like it's like those kind of brownstones that they have in Montreal.
It could be really either because there's
But it
like
could
there's,
be,
there's
yeah.
like two like outdoor shots basically of the house and then the building where he works. and
I
that's
think
about
there's
it.
one outstanding Canadian performance that needs to be like sort of remembered in that film. Louis Del Grande as,
yes.
as Cleet.
And you know what? You know what
he
he's
is
famous.
awesome in
You know
that.
what he's famous for?
Yes,
Seeing things.
Seeing.
Well, you know what? Also, he's famous
Famous
for,
for.
I believe, is his head blowing up in scanners.
Correct.
That's correct. Also,
Okay,
yeah.
That's his most famous film role.
Well, almost everybody in that movie. A young Maury Chaykin.
as well.
Youngish.
Yeah, he's always looked old.
He's always
Middle-aged.
looked old. Yeah.
I used to mix him up with Donnelly Rhodes, the late Donnelly Rhodes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They could have played brothers in a show or something.
Well,
I just
looking
saw
like that.
Donnelly Rhodes in an episode of Black Mirror today. He's doing pretty well.
That's right. He was the dad. He
Well,
was a
he's
heart attack
deceased now.
He died.
He just died
like 2 weeks
recently.
ago.
Yeah.
So his last thing was Black Mirror.
Yeah.
In Black Mirror, he dies of a heart attack.
Wow.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe that's when he died.
So you
And
weren't
they just
being
cut-
the smartass
They
saying-
caught it on
Maybe it was a
film.
documentary.
So you saying he's doing well wasn't being smartass?
No, I thought he was doing well. Well, maybe he's in heaven. Okay, and also Shannon Tweed is in this fucking
Yeah,
thing.
it's her
Yeah.
first film.
Oh, introducing
It says
Shannon Tweed.
introducing Shannon
And of
Tweed.
course, the first shot of the movie is her legs in a shower.
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Which I'm thinking, like,
Rat's eye view.
Why don't they have a shower curtain there? Like you can, so they're shot from, you can see her legs in the shower,
Yeah.
and he's sitting on the bed. It's like, well, someone buy these people a shower curtain. There's water going all over the place. It has to be because it's a shower.
Oh, I thought it was a glassed-in enclosure.
I didn't see any glass.
Oh.
It would have been steaming up or something like that. And then Peter Weller's the husband.
Yeah.
With his nice cheekbones.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Which one did you
They
have?
have
He could
take an
he
idea
could
of
slice
this.
tomatoes with those things.
I wish he would have.
He should have like fought the rat with his cheekbones.
And so yeah, we're introduced to the family. They're a nice family. He seems a little, fastidious about keeping the house neat and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. It kind of a little bit of his character foreshadowing.
But
I
he's
guess.
also like a fun-loving dad
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
he's really funny with his kid.
Well, he walked in his kid. For some reason, his kid's just pouring cereal all over the place. I would have freaked. I was like, "What the fuck you doing?"
His kid's kind of a brat.
Yeah.
But don't kids? I used to do that.
Kids are the worst.
Well, what did he like? Is he throwing on the floor or something?
Well, no, put it in the goddamn bowl, put milk in it and eat it. You don't
Kid
No
like
wonder they
that?
got rats.
Kid like that could grow up to be a serial killer.
Oh, shut up.
Oh my goodness. All right, that's it. That's just because this podcast is done. Yeah, we're just shutting it down now.
That's it.
It's the last one ever.
That joke that killed the non-existent podcast. I don't have that many notes.
So yeah, so there's the thing is she's taking the kid to go away. She
Conveniently.
puts on, immediately. And she puts on this big fur coat, and I'm like, is that made of rats? is that why the rat is so
be.
angry? Because he's wearing.
Well, the babies
she's
are
wearing the
naked
family?
later, maybe.
Well, they're
We're
born
baby
that,
rat
they're
fur.
born that way.
Oh.
You know how many baby rat furs it would take to make a whole coat?
A lot.
I don't know, like thousands.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, like 100.
And the work that they
It's
take,
like calf skin.
the work to take all that fur off each tiny little, like they're the size of your thumb basically. That'd be gross.
Well, that's why you give those jobs to people from elsewhere.
Now,
Yes. From elsewhere. St. Elsewhere.
so he's So before we're introduced to the creature, sorry.
No, I'm thinking he's packing the kids in. He's at the house. I'm thinking, oh man, I love it when my wife and the kid go away. Why can't that be me?
I'm gonna pee with the door open.
Yeah.
I
hope my family never listens to this, but I really like.
At least you have the rats.
Yeah, to keep me company. And,
You and Peter Weller.
To drive me crazy.
So then,
there's a couple of early shots that are like a little. There's a couple, and you're not quite sure what it is of.
Yeah.
They're at weird angles and stuff, and then you're not quite sure it's a rat.
There's a reflection in the toaster that goes by. If you're not paying attention, you miss it totally.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed when it was revealed that it was a rat because you see this like hand at one point.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought was great because those were what rat things look like on the glass table, right?
I guess you're looking.
They're pink. Their hands are kind of pink.
You would know.
Well, I do know.
Because they're massaging your
But
scalp.
I thought this thing was going to be like a troll or something. Like I had no idea what the monster was, and I was a little let down.
It was a
when
pretty
it was a
big rat, though. It was like a New York rat.
Which you don't really find out. No.
It was like the size of like an ocelot.
Rats
it was
don't
like
get
a
that
huge
big.
fucking rat.
That was like a rat from the Princess Bride. Like it was so
When I was a student in Montreal, I came home and me and some roommates were lucky enough to have an amazing apartment in our final year, a really sweet apartment right in the middle of the downtown. But towards the end of our lease, I came in when I flicked on the kitchen light and a huge rat. It looked like a sneaker, like a big basketball sneaker.
That's what
went across.
What?
Yeah, it was that long, like a size 12 sneaker in a big. Yeah, man, it was bouncing a ball too.
Wow, you're revealing some shit about your psyche.
Sneakers
but
that bounce balls.
I'll tell you,
look like my mother's pumps.
Because you're making comments. Yeah, no, it's huge.
Just one note.
This was a Montreal sewer rat, I guess. It was huge.
He's his family's gone. He's off the office and he's doing his work. And I've never worked in an office. I don't know if anyone's worked in an office.
Looks horrible.
It does. It looks horrible. And it's all just it was just boring office talk.
Yeah.
And like my eyes are glossing over with the boring office talk. I don't know what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing. They're talking about projects and this and that.
They're using catchphrases and buzzwords.
Yeah. Do people like actually talk and act like that in offices?
And he has the most understanding fucking boss.
Dynamite secretary.
Oh yeah, Dynamite. Oh, whoops. Yeah, Dynamite.
She was
in
doing
a number of ways.
She was getting him coffee, taking his coat, organizing his life.
And everyone else is sucking up to the boss. Did you get that little bit when it was like the other two guys who were Canadian actors?
Yeah.
It's like, hey boss, you catch the hockey game last night? There's a shutout, I think, wasn't it? And he's like, what do you know about coffee? About hockey. And then he leaves, and then the other guy goes, did you actually watch the game? No. And I was like, yeah, all right, that seems like real office kind of bullshit.
Yeah, insert tongue into ass there.
I also thought the office shit would play a lot more into the actual movie, which it does not.
It kind of did, but they kind of left it. They kind of sort of forgot about it after a while.
Like some time goes by, he hasn't done all his work.
Yeah, and
it's just that sort of pressure, a little bit of pressure.
I love movies like this where the breakdown is obviously what's happening at home is affecting his work life, but he stops shaving. His hair's a mess, and he wears like a bomber jacket. And
and he doesn't stay at a hotel when there's a fucking monster rat in his house.
And for some reason, he can't get a hold of an exterminator. They're all insanely busy. Because it's a rat. Explosion.
He's like, it's New York, man.
That was contemporary in the like maybe probably when the script was written a few years before the movie in New York City in the late 70s, early 80s. There was a big rat problem.
Well, you think there'd be more exterminators then? You think
but they were probably all busy.
Yeah.
Like there can only be so many exterminators even in New York.
And under Watergate.
Yeah.
Rats in the White House.
Rats in the White House. Isn't that a song?
G. Gordon Liddy. He was always looking up for rats. Topical.
Yes, very topical. There's a metaphor for what was happening in Watergate 10 years earlier.
Was it earlier? Oh,
yeah, that was early 70s.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't until I read the box afterwards, though, that I thought, yeah, that's a possible metaphor. Was on the back of the box after I watched it, they talk about him being in a different kind of rat race. It's supposed to be like a rat, at least according to the person who wrote the liner notes on the back of the box.
Right. It's okay. You don't need to prove it.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll prove it here.
So you're gonna read one of the puns written by the distributors, Hacky. Hacky? That's not a word.
And then
lackey.
Hack
lackey.
And so then
is it?
And then we get to
You
see
imagine the whole thing.
And then we
When
get
not mired in the corporate rat race, Wall Street executive Bart Hughes is king of his cat. All right.
Well, it's funny. I didn't know his name was Bart.
Oh, I
at least
laughed.
a half an hour into the movie. It's like his name's Bart.
I was like, there's no way they're talking about him.
Yeah, I know. Like, who's Bart?
There's
He's the only guy
no
on
way
screen.
this guy's name is Bart. And I don't know if that's because I grew up like Bart Simpson became a thing when I was like 11. So I was like, Bart is always just like Homer. It's like it's just a joke.
I know a guy named Bart Simpson.
Do you?
So do I.
Yeah.
So
A
good dude.
local film producer.
Yeah. They did produce The Corporation. And,
The Corporation is great.
The Bananas movies.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised, The Simpsons actually goes after a lot of obscure references. I'm surprised they didn't do some kind of episode with Bart versus a rat, aiming for the 1% who would actually even catch it.
Yeah, it might be a bit much.
That's kind of a deep cut.
It is. So he's at work, and then they show a shot of the rat at home, and like, what the fuck is that? It looks like a gremlin or something.
I'm telling you,
It's all sweaty and
it's
gross looking.
They're really effective at making it seem like it's a bigger monster than it is.
Because they have they have a camera angle of it moving around, and it looks like it's at least a foot off the floor.
Yeah.
Because they probably didn't have like a dollar.
Yeah,
so just
yeah,
like some
exactly.
guy just
They're
walking
just
around
like,
with a camera.
doing this.
Because he couldn't get down, his back was too sore, so he got as low as he could.
It's signing for mail.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's
Ordered
having
a
a bath.
pizza.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So it chews through a thing in his dishwasher. They make a point of him showing it, loading the dishwasher up and going off to work. And he comes home, the dishwasher is still leaking. Like, is it on like a 10-hour cycle? Does it keep going for like 10 hours?
Yeah.
And
that was a bit of a big flood, yeah.
That would have flooded this. It would have been coming out the front door.
Yeah.
There would been so much water. It was pretty funny. Anyways.
I noticed that, and they did the POV thing. Like when he was going to work, I think the rat
It was looking through blinds.
Like looking through
the blinds. I think he even pulled the blind down.
Yeah.
Like a Brian De Palma movie or
Because
something.
I remember thinking this looks like Black Christmas for some reason.
Because he's going.
And I'm like, so I figured it was we're getting the monsters POV.
Yeah, some kind of monster
and it's
POV.
clearly Canadian. That was when I was like, oh, this is a Canadian movie because I made the Black Christmas Association, another of Alex's picks.
Which was a great one.
Oh, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, oh, is it like some weird monster movie? And then strangely, it's just a rat.
Yeah.
And so then he goes to the. He has the. I wrote mobster plumber. Does that make sense?
That's Louis Del.
Louis Del Grande, Cleet.
Cleet.
Seeing things.
Who's he? Who's
Isn't it just Del
he's
Grand?
He's a super
in the
building next door.
Yeah.
So I think Peter Weller like borrows tools off him or something.
And for some reason he knows how to get into his house.
Yeah.
Just open a small door
there's some
and
sort of
show up in his house.
yeah.
And this guy just makes himself at fucking home.
He sure
like,
does.
like he shows up and he like plunks himself out. He's like, well, let me tell you about your like your pipes. And he just like sits on his counter.
He jumped up on the dishwasher as it's leaking all over the place.
He's like, well, what you gotta do is you gotta get a new hose or whatever the hell he's saying.
He's like a Vinnie Barbarino.
He's
guy.
a total Vinnie Barbarino. As long as we're talking about 1980s TV shows.
70s.
70s for seeing things?
No, for Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, well, they were both. And I wrote he's weirdly personal and strangely threatening.
I fix a guy as a weirdo. That's all I have.
Well, yeah, that guy, I feel like he was a bit of a red herring. Of like, you're like, well, this guy's suspicious.
So we thought he was the rat.
Or he's got something to do with it.
Right. Maybe he unleashed the rat into
something like that. Or
maybe.
something. I don't know. I had these thoughts just because he was like, well, this guy's being weird.
Something wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
He's too personal.
He owns that scene, by the way. He
really does.
Every scene
really,
he's in. He steals every scene that he's in.
And he's always filling his head with these like terrifying rat conspiracies.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, rats get in, your kid's sitting there, he's eating his breakfast, rat goes up your kid's ass and eats his guts, comes out, goes into his brain and takes over your kid's body, his central nervous system, and all of a sudden, you don't even know it, but your kid is actually a rat. And it's like, holy shit.
That,
So it's
that
like-
would have been a movie I would
Yeah.
have loved.
So he buys these big ass rat traps.
Oh yeah. Well, they're normal rat traps, but the rat scoffs at them. The rat, for some reason, actually eats one of them.
Yeah,
rat's
and,
like,
and
oh.
he chops him. He chops one in half too. It's like karate chopped it with those freaky hands.
It's like- yeah, at no point did I actually think that was a rat hand.
I totally did.
Because rat hands are actually quite dainty and
Yeah, but they were
not-
just filming it at a freaky angle
Not
to
this
make it look
rat.
freaky for those of us who are kind of freaked out by rats.
This
like
rat
myself,
was-
I'm kind of freaked out by them.
This rat's the
No,
size of
okay.
a small bear.
And
yeah,
it's just because they
did
move
like
quickly.
Andre the Giant's hand and made it look like a rat hand. But it's
Is that
big.
it?
It's big and clunky.
Well, that would have been quite a waste of Andre the Giant. But...
Well, not at that time. He was still trying to break into Hollywood.
No, 83 he was pretty big in the wrestling.
Oh yeah, you're
pretty
probably
big.
right.
He had already been the Sasquatch. He'd peaked.
Ooh, you know some shit.
He was.
I saw.
I spent the 70s watching TV, Dylan.
WWF.
I saw.
But he was
Giant Live.
Bigfoot on
Fight.
$6 Million Man.
Huge,
Oh,
$6
right.
million man.
So I
He
thought
was-
you meant as a wrestler, he was the Sasquatch, and I'm like, wow.
No,
he was.
He was the Sasquatch on the $6 Million
There
man.
was a Sasquatch on the $6 million.
It was. And naturally, it was a bionic Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Wow. So they
Why would you
put
bother
the-
making a bionic Sasquatch?
they sunk $6 million.
Really
into a
bad
Sasquatch,
planning.
too?
Really
Ah,
bad planning,
like
you know.
three.
It's just like,
$3 million. Yeah.
Because it's only half a
They only
man.
did his feet.
we'll be able to control the Sasquatch.
So did he play? did he play Harry and Harry and the Hendersons?
No.
Oh, that seems like a waste
That was
of
Shaquille
opportunity.
O'Neal, wasn't it?
That was John Lithgow. No.
No, he was a somewhat human guy in that. Anyways,
Anyways,
back to the rat. Okay,
back-
so
back to the rat trap.
I have to say, there's a weird little scene when it's back at the office the next
Yeah.
day, and those two doofuses guys. He's like, one guy's talking to a robot. Do you guys notice there's a weird little robot in the office?
No.
There's an office robot.
No, I missed the
Yeah,
office.
and he's
I
like,
noticed it.
bleep, 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 and he like goes off screen. I was like, what the fuck was that? And so why is there a robot in this?
Like
I
Rock-
think it was
like
just
Rocky
a
IV,
comment
There's just
on-
a robot in the.
There is one in Rocky IV, but infamously. But I just think a lot of it is a commentary on 80s gadgetry and
Am I the only one?
decadence.
Did you see the robot?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
yes.
good. I didn't. It wasn't hallucinating or anything like
You
that.
weren't
Are
hallucinating.
you
no.
telling me, Alex,
I missed that.
if this movie is a commentary on gadgetry, like the first victim really is the dishwasher.
Yes.
It's
You know,
true. Also, and where's the anti-rat
it-
gadget that's supposed to save
It's
the day?
man's hubris in the face of
true.
rat. Like the rat represents nature and Peter Weller,
And
who
survival.
eventually becomes
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
William S. Burroughs after becoming
He does.
RoboCop.
Oh, right.
Naked
that's
Lunch
fucked up.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I don't mean that like it's meant as a comment in a heavy-handed way. I don't mean that, but it's like throwing like a decadent, silly robot into an office scene is
never
just
noticed
kind of
the
like
robot.
the
No,
Sure-
it was.
You
it was,
sure
it,
that wasn't Peter Weller?
corporate decadence.
You know-
is
you know-
all
It was. Yes, it was.
It's
It was,
corporate
it was in
decadence.
there for like 5 seconds.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do you like coffee? Sandwiches.
And then he calls Shannon Tweed to see how it's going. And for some reason she's swimming in the pool, and she goes, "Oh, there's a phone." Like, it's a phone.
It's a pool phone.
Who has a pool phone? And of course it's like
Rich people.
Rich people.
I just-
rich people
I
have
just-
pool phones.
I
But it
just
was a
thought
public.
of
It was a
something.
public pool, wasn't it?
I just thought of something.
I thought they were at their house or something.
But there's like 30 people in the pool.
I'm sorry, I just thought of something.
No, there's
Stallone,
not.
as we know, this director has a close rapport with Sylvester Stallone. I wonder if Stallone was
Made him
probably
put the phone in.
no, if he based his robot in Rocky IV, which he wrote and directed, on the robot in his mentor.
I thought you were going to
don't know.
say if
I don't remember the
Stallone
robot in
played the
Rocky
robot, like to get the money together to fund Rocky. Oh wait, no, this would have been after. I keep hearing it's 83 because this movie
fund
seems like it's like
Cobra.
1975. I'm very surprised it's that late. Oh, Cobra. God, the scene when he takes a piece of pizza and he takes
I don't
he takes
remember
scissors
that
and
movie.
snips the end off the pizza for no apparent reason. But we
I could go on about.
Co-
we should maybe do Cobra. 'Cause I could
Cobra.
go on about that fucking movie.
And we have to have Pag Garrity on here, Patrick Garrity.
He's moving to Vietnam.
Well, you have to get him phoned in because he's the world's
From
biggest
Vietnam?
Cobra fan.
Okay.
It's the worst fucking movie ever
terrible
made.
movie,
Anyways, so
So we actually haven't seen the rat yet.
Yeah.
And then so after this, there's a shot of a better shot of the rat, and I'm like, is that a rat? I thought it looked like a prawn, a giant angry prawn. like with some hair. That's like because you get
what, like District 9?
kind of like District 9, yeah. And
I never got a prawn. I missed the robot and the prawn.
yeah, no, I thought to me.
I was making a
I
sandwich.
was stoned when I watched it, and I went prawn. I was by myself. It was a weird thing to do, but
There probably wasn't a prawn going through all the
maybe
all the duct work and
Do you think you have,
yeah, it's a smell. It's like prawn.
it just escaped from a fry pan that they were doing. You know, it was like
Yeah, that's right. I'm free.
I ate
Yeah.
prawns tonight, so all this like monstrous prawn
You
talk's
hope you
kind
ate
of
prawns.
grossing me out. Yeah.
Yeah, or does it make you more hungry? Well, and then so he's back talking with seeing what's it sightseeing that show he was on?
yeah, Louis Del Grande. Yeah.
It's called
seeing things.
Okay,
And you call yourself Canadian.
I do not. And and they're talking about the rat. And he goes, "There's only 5 ways to kill it."
Yeah, that's right. 5.
Yeah. Silver bullet, sunlight, a stake through the heart.
Flamethrower, calling it names.
Never feed it
It
after
was
midnight.
it was a legit list though. I can't remember what he said though.
I can't remember. No, it was
all complicated, though.
One was poisoning.
Yeah, poisoning.
One was trapping it, I guess, or snapping his neck.
Beating it with a club or something.
He's to me, I'm like, wow, man, that guy's in the fucking rat's head.
Yeah.
He knows how the rat thinks. He is the rat.
Drop a piano on its head.
yeah. Correct. Shoot it into the sun.
Anvils never go out of style.
There's way more than 5 ways to kill a rat. Anyways, he's saying, you think about the rat in maybe 20-25% of your life. He's thinking about destroying your life 100% of the time.
It's a focused rat.
I must break you. I'm starting to see a lot of Rocky
And that
IV
rat's a
parallels.
mother also.
Yeah.
So not probably thinking about,
And then there's
Yeah.
a shot. There's a shot of it when it's walking on a glass table or something, and it's of its ass. And it's all sweaty, and it's wet, and the tail's dragging. It's like, why did they have to
the
show
tail
that?
was really gross.
Well, this rat was wet a
lot of the
disgusting
time.
amount of the time. There's
And
no
the
reason to keep a rat wet that
in the
long.
water and stuff.
And then he brings in the small bear traps, the metal
the little
toothy,
bear trap things.
Which those things are terrifying.
yeah.
He's carrying them around like they're his child or something.
Well, then he puts them in a dollhouse, right? Like, what's with that? What, the creepy dollhouse in
that
the
was
basement?
modeled on Dylan's rat house that he had his rats in. His hair
okay.
combing rats
All
from
right,
back in the
okay.
day.
Yeah, Dylan was a consultant on this.
Well,
film.
who didn't have a rat house?
But
Well,
that
no,
was
like-
I thought that was a furnace at first, and then I'm like, no, wait, it's a dollhouse.
dollhouse for
And it was
reason.
down in the boiler room.
In the
I love the fact there's a boiler room. Do
Yeah.
we still have boiler? We don't have boiler rooms anymore, do we?
The boiler is your the
Boils
big-
water.
The furnace?
The furnace, yeah.
Okay.
The
you
furnace thing.
put coal into or
Well, you used to,
rat
but
skeletons?
it's a big
Weird kid.
furnace, right? But they call it a boiler, especially in buildings,
Right.
right? It's because they were steam.
Yes.
Where were we? Oh, right. I missed the part where his wife and kid left for the day.
This was
whatever.
this was the first scene in the movie they leave, guy.
Sure.
And he
I
resents
thought
that.
they were going for like dinner or something. I didn't realize they were leaving town.
But they took suitcases.
So when he starts, I didn't notice the suitcase.
She left Peter Weller for Gene Simmons.
Oh, you're the first to make the Gene Simmons. Fuck, you beat me
Forgot
to
about
it.
the Gene Simmons thing.
I was saving one up, but I was saying get Gene Simmons to
tugging
call
him
the
out.
cat man from Fucking Kiss to come and deal with the rat. But
Peter Chris, he was too drunk.
oh, that rat would have eaten Peter Chris's face.
Yeah, that cat face.
In a heartbeat.
And he was
Oh,
running.
like pudding. It just would have been like, like the
Peter,
dog.
Peter Chris, the Catman, was on the run from the Fox man, Eric Carr.
Who's that?
Why?
He followed him up in Kiss, and he had Fox
He
makeup.
had fox makeup.
But do foxes eat cats? Is that what you're saying, Matt?
I think so.
Doesn't anyone out
In-
there
in
in,
Alex's
podcast
world.
land
Yeah.
remember Eric Carr,
Yeah.
Fox man?
Yeah.
I've never heard of the Foxman.
You've heard of Kiss, right?
Yes.
My first concert, by the way.
Really?
Which tour?
1979.
Oh, the real
Ooh,
deal.
Dynasty.
Yeah, Dynasty tour.
I was made for loving you.
Were you in the Kiss
Baby.
Army?
That was not in the Kiss Army.
I was
love
in the
but I
Kiss
wasn't
Army.
in the Kiss
Were you?
Yes.
Fantastic.
I had a patch. I had a patch that I put on my jacket. And then 2 years later, I burned it.
Were you conscripted into the Kiss Army?
No, because I was Made for Loving You came out, and I burned, and I went AWOL.
Like the Israeli army.
That's right.
I went AWOL as soon as I was Made for Loving You.
Yeah, I went too.
That was long.
They were over for me.
That was the beginning,
over.
and that's
Who's
the tour I
having what?
saw.
You're having
that was the beginning at the end for me for sure.
They were over for me.
Well, they're trying to cash in the disco thing at that point. Yeah, it did not work.
And
Peter Criss doesn't even drum on that album.
No, he lost all his mojo by then.
Yeah, and he wasn't good enough. He was too out of shape.
Heard him calling.
It was a guy named Anton Fig played on the whole.
Oh, Anton Fig was the drummer
on Dynasty.
He was also the drummer for the David Letterman band.
That's right.
Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer.
He was also the drummer in that small part of
So he's laying these traps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the wife and the kid weren't coming home immediately.
Yeah.
So when he's laying a fucking bear trap inside of his fucking dollhouse, I'm like,
and in the cereal cupboard.
And maybe want to maybe that's a bad idea.
There's a scene when he goes in his kid's room and hides in the kid's room.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, and I knew they were away, but they're gonna come back eventually.
Yeah.
And you're gonna remember where he laid all these traps? there's like 10 of them, and they're like metal, toothy. Like they're gonna take.
Those are some heavy duty traps.
And he has a great line because I guess he's really confident in these traps that he bought. And he goes, "Watch and weep, you furry fucker."
Yeah. At this point, that the rat is really making his life miserable. He's ruining everything. Yeah. It rips his pillows up. It rips all of his cereal and flour.
Yeah, it stole his identity.
Yes.
Bought a bunch of sporting goods.
Yeah, with his credit card online.
It's giving him nightmares where it jumps out at children from birthday cakes.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Oh, I love all them. There's a number of nightmares in this movie.
So he's trying to figure out what to do. So he's at the library and he's got the book. And the book he has is called The Rat, Lapdog of the Devil.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Lapdog of the Devil.
And this is the point where I'm starting to freak out watching this because they're showing, I assume, are actual photographs and things.
They were. I saw in the credits at the end. They were for they credited the archives and
the NFB.
I'm actually legitimately freaking out because I've got rats on my walls. They're not actually in the house.
Yeah.
Because we've got cats and they would have taken. They've been short work of the rats there. But I hear them all the time. My cats are pretty tough. This movie's freaking me out. I don't get freaked out at movies that much, but because it's so close to home, actually, as close to home as you can get because it's my home.
Yeah.
This part
it'd be
I
like
could
watching
see.
Alien with a face hugger in the walls.
I could.
Yeah, exactly.
I could totally
it's like watching Grizzly with a giant grizzly bear in the walls.
In the fridge.
Or like I'm about to say, you're watching Jaws with the Jaws in your bathtub.
The shark in the swimming pool. A swarm with a hive of bees in your. Anyways.
In your blender.
In your beard.
In your beard. I have a giant beard of bees. I don't know what to do with it.
Or the bad lieutenant and Harvey Keitel's naked in your walls.
Giving me a ticket. Masturbating while he gives me a ticket.
So seriously though, but this is where I saw the Jaws influence on this movie because it reminded me of the parts where Roy Scheider in the first Jaws is researching sharks and he's looking at photos of bites and things like that, and he's freaking out.
Boat and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I really loved where also Peter Weller is watching films. One of them is credited to the National Film Board of Canada.
Ooh.
One of the films about rats.
Yeah.
The definitive documentary about rats from.
And it
was a hinterland who's who. The humble rat lives in your wall and bursts out of your child's birthday cake
and maybe
every
your child's
spring.
Chest cavity like an alien.
Yeah, and then like Casey and Finnegan turn up.
Be rats. But he's also watching. I think it's Old Man in the Sea with Spencer Tracy.
I made
Old Man in the Sea.
It's the same scene that's on. It's like for an hour. He falls asleep. He wakes up. It's still on. He's still trying to reel that marlin in with his hands.
And at one point, actually,
that's the director's cut, I think.
He's smashing the ceiling at one point with a copy of Moby Dick, and I remember thinking like, this is the least subtle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not the joy of cooking or something. It's like fucking like, oh, I wonder if this is in any way like.
And this is his mind's starting to slip. So he's at work the next day, and he says like this horrible line. He goes, Orientals, they're great prophet people. Like, oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Because they're doing some deal with China.
Yeah, but the boss loves it.
Yeah.
And the boss says, hey, why don't you come over for dinner on Thursday?
Oh, this is-
yeah.
and this
Which leads to my favorite monologue in cinema
my
history.
favorite scene. Also, the thing is, so before we get to this is when I learned his name is Bart.
Bart.
By the way,
like 40 minutes into the movie, and his name's Bart.
At this point, I also really related to the film. I know this will sound strange, not because I had a rat in my student apartment,
Because
but
your middle name is Bart?
No.
Oh.
Because
That's disappointing.
Many years ago, here in Vancouver, I had one of those horrific as it sounds. Trust me, it's as bad as it sounds. Massive bed bug infestation, and I had to leave my apartment for a while, stuff like that. And I just remember the state of mind I got in as I got gradually more and more overtired, and it was on my mind. A crumb on a table, because I was eating out all the time, because I had no place to live while I was being fumigated, and there was all these logistical problems with tackling it.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, I would see a crumb on the table and almost have a fucking cardiac arrest. And no, it's like a bug, and it's like you think you see a bug, and because you get the paranoia that they're on you and stuff. I understood like the film.
Right now.
Yeah, this movie, seriously though, I thought did a good job of capturing a state of mind of someone who's gradually overtired and obsessed with one particular problem.
Totally.
Well, you think he couldn't sleep at this point because you could hear them, and he was the rat was in the house and doing terrible things.
I took every step at that time not to take the bed bugs out of my apartment with me, all with the clothing and stuff like that when I had to go home.
You walk around naked all the time.
But it's not like I walked around and told everyone that I had bed bugs. It's pretty embarrassing and a scary problem.
I thought you walked around with a sandwich board and a bell.
No, that's it. You just write
I borrowed your town crier out. I could totally relate because it's not like you're going around telling people, "Hey, I got bed bug paranoia."
So you're on a date and you're naked except for the sandwich board and the bell, and all you can think about
No.
the bed bug.
Okay, I always wore plastic wrap.
Okay, good.
Because they can hide in your body hair and in your ass or whatever,
I would love to see like people walking around Vancouver completely naked with just the word bed bugs written on the torsos, and just like being accepted, like, oh, thank you for not wearing clothing into my business, because
no shame there.
As a matter of fact, starting, you know what? Ask me about it on the next podcast. Starting tonight, I'm going to start work on a bed bug horror movie.
Okay.
So, where the hell are we?
Where he's going to the party at his boss's house, which is for me, this is my favorite scene.
That's a great monologue.
Brief.
He's just sitting there staring, and he's not paying attention to anything. And the boss asks him a question, and he's not paying attention. He's just staring off. And then he starts talking about rats.
At dinner.
At dinner.
At this very fancy dinner, and everyone's all dressed up.
Yeah.
And not like, it's not like, anyways, this and that. That rhymes with rat. Like, there is no segue into this.
No.
People are like, hey, I think hey, how you doing, Bart? Did you know that a typical rat could feast on a human body?
And he's going with the bubonic plague, wiped out a third of the population.
Which, by the way, is not the rat's fault.
It's not the rat's fault.
I think we've established this earlier.
But he's going with 1983 science. They didn't know
he's going about nuclear explosions that killed everything.
We hadn't even been to the moon
rats.
by 1983.
Exactly.
That hadn't even been faked yet.
Yeah, he's going on about like it's the most insane monologue.
It is. and then he goes on.
Wait, they can chew through cement. They can chew through Wolverine's hands. Like it's just like
they can chew through lava.
They can swim. They swim in lava. They can live in deep space for a year without freezing.
They can fly.
Yeah.
And then he says, and then what's left? All there is in the Philippines, like where they have chocolate-covered bees.
Oh, then that
chocolate-covered.
Yeah, he's comparing. He's like in the
on.
Philippines, they feast on rats. Oh wait, no.
No, they eat. It's a delicacy. No, they eat rats in the Philippines because they have to.
Well, do they worship them or feast on them?
Somebody worshipped them.
Some place they worship rats.
He was talking about some place worship.
Yeah, I think it might have been India. He mentioned they worship rats. I'm pretty sure they don't worship rats.
You know what? Oh, China. It's China.
Was it China they worship rats? Yeah.
Because there's the year of the rat.
Because it's the year of the rat. Like, they worship the. So he thinks that they like for a year they just like bow down to the rat. Like, whoa, China. I'm not gonna do a voice, but like,
please don't do a voice.
I'm like, what do you think?
he's totally coming unglued, and everyone at the dinner party is looking at him. Of course,
Yeah,
it's all about the reaction shots that set the tone for that thing. It's like, they're like drinking their drinks uncomfortably, and
Yeah, well, Bart's losing his mind.
And I was hoping it was going to go a little further, but it doesn't. It just ends, and then he goes home and he wakes up in the middle of the night and has to go to the bathroom.
Oh, so good. That's my second favorite scene in the whole movie.
That's one of those you don't want that to happen when you go to the
No, and I like he's never using that fucking toilet again. There's no way.
Well, good thing it was just a number one.
Yeah. Why is it Rat in the toilet anyways?
Okay,
How
no.
did he get there?
But this is the point
lid
where
was
it's
down.
like, is this really happening or is he just imagining it? Because I'm like, oh, this guy's going fucking nuts.
Well, because there are a few dream sequences, like one of the kids with the birthday cake with the rat coming out. of it
Was
and
that
taking all
before
the-
this?
I don't know. He's talking to this crazy neighbor Louis, sightseeing guy.
Yeah.
And
No,
Seeing things.
seeing things.
I'm seeing things I've never seen before, but the one thing I couldn't see was when you were walking out the door. I couldn't believe my mind. What, you've never seen Seeing Things?
Why would I have seen that?
You're like 20 years older than me.
So it doesn't mean I've seen anything.
Yeah, it was on when you were a kid, but we were older and didn't watch crap like that.
Yo, you were too cool for CBC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I caught a few episodes of Seeing Things, and I found it quite terrible.
So he has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lifts up the toilet and the rat's
Always a bad idea.
This is one of the first time you actually see the rat.
So he walks into the bathroom and the lid is down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I sure am tired. I guess I'll get my penis out now to take a piss. It adds to the surprise. No, I don't think he
And there
has.
was a pile of rat skulls.
There was a pile of stuff on the top thing.
What's it? Because
The
he'd heard
toilet?
that they can come up through the fucking
And,
sewers.
and there was also, I think, on the toilet thing too.
So he takes
them off.
He takes the pile of bricks off of the
Yeah.
toilet and
then he puts his penis in there.
Guess
Just rams his penis right into the toilet like we all do when we pee.
he's all tired, like, and all of a sudden a horrifying rat jumps out and tries to bite his dick off.
Yeah.
And screams at him at the same time.
Yeah.
And by the
it
way,
was
rats
really
don't make these
screaming.
noises.
I'm pretty sure that they don't make those noises, especially
That
the
was-
growly, the bear noises.
Yeah, I don't think wolverines make these noises. I mean, anyways.
So after that, he's talking to Seeing Things guy the next day, and he's going about, oh yeah, rats. They like the soft part of the body. They like the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
They'll eat
Yeah,
your
'cause
eyes.
they have
They'll eat
balls.
your
Eyes.
eyes right through your
Yeah.
fucking head.
Yeah, and your dick. He's like, and your genitals. Like, ooh, they'll chew those right up. Delicious.
How at this
Like-
point in the movie were you feeling, Darren?
Well, at this point, I'm not as creeped out as I was before.
The point was
Because
made.
Yeah, because now it's getting kind of silly for me, which I'm still enjoying.
Ah.
And then he's laying the traps, and he goes, "Well, what do you put in the traps?" And he goes, "Some nice sharp cheddar and some lamb chops."
Yeah, lamb chops. I mean,
Put
that's the
lamb
first
chops
one.
in a
Lamb
fucking
chops.
Did he cook them first?
With mint
Little
sauce.
mint sauce.
And
Yeah.
they got the little white little
Yeah,
things on
little
it.
chef's hat on them.
Yeah. Oh, adorable. My favorite is he goes to work and he's all fucked up because of this rat.
Yeah.
And then the boss is like, I need to see that report. And for some reason, he lifts his one leg and he opens his briefcase on his leg. And then he falls over and drops all his rat stuff on the floor. Which has been carrying his briefcase.
It's all full of rats.
Oh, yeah, because fucking Louis from Seeing Things, from ratting things, is all like, oh, yeah, you don't use your hands when you feed them
Those
lamb.
gloves,
You have to
yeah.
wear gloves.
He's got those rubber gloves that you would use to like put pig iron into a.
Yeah. Not just like a little pair of little gloves you use, like this rubber gloves you buy at the hardware store.
They reminded me of the gloves that Spock uses in the Wrath of
Oh,
Khan.
yeah,
when he's
yeah.
lifting the
It's
like
dilithium
the dilithium crystal. It's like such hardcore gloves.
Yeah, if it's radioactive, you use these gloves.
And he's like, it's got his briefcase and then a bunch of literature about rats.
Yeah.
And it opens.
What's
and
this guy into?
And of course, Kenneth Walls picks them up and he's waving them in front. He's like, "Can I come to your next party?" or something. Like that.
Yeah. Can I come to your next?
By the way, I heard about your weird, fucking 4-minute monologue about how rats can eat through human bone at the boss's party, and somehow you still haven't been fired.
Yeah, I know. And the boss is still on his side.
Yeah.
I have an hard time. Yeah, because it's. Yeah.
So he goes home, and this is where on his way home, I'm saying, just dude, get yourself some fucking cats. Get a bunch of cats and just let them go. They'll take care of that
so
rat.
he steals
no
the
problem.
neighbor's cat.
I know. He's a cat walking outside.
He just steals a cat.
Yeah, he steals a cat.
He's like, hey,
And
you're a
feed-
cat.
and feeds it some really weird food. It was
Yeah.
like
Oysters.
Oysters. 2-week-old oysters.
Yeah, and then he eats it
oysters.
too.
Yeah, which he ate a couple of and then hallucinated more stuff.
Yeah.
And they didn't look like oysters. They looked like tiny black,
Yeah.
like charcoal or something.
It was probably peyote.
Yeah, it's peyote. Yeah, these have some oysters.
It was catnip.
These oysters are awesome.
Street name is Oysters, but it's
And then his secretary comes over.
Yeah.
And she's kind of creepy and weird. She just stares at him. She just stares at him. He's like doing something. She's just staring at him with her. She's almost cross-eyed, just staring at him.
I think it's because she's so appalled by the condition he's in.
Oh no.
She can see he's coming.
Well,
crazy.
she's also slightly turned on.
No, she wants his RoboCock.
Yeah.
The whole, she's just like
Jennifer
'cause
Dale wants her big break.
no, because
Was that her
It was Jennifer Dale. Yeah.
I know. I didn't know that till after
who's
the credits.
Jennifer Dale?
Oh god.
She's a.
That's like him not knowing seeing things.
No, it's not.
It's not that nothing's as bad as that.
Nothing's as bad as
There's a
that.
bunch of Dale sisters actually. That they're all like actresses from the 80s and
Yeah,
whatever.
and they're all very
Canadian-
good-looking.
In a lot of Canadian
Or there was-
films.
there was-
Jennifer
when I was that
Dale,
age,
though,
anyway.
I'm
She
not
was
sure.
in Street Legal.
Yeah, but was she? Is it her or Cynthia who's in My Bloody Valentine? Which
Cynthia's
is
in My Bloody Valentine, I think.
Okay, because My Bloody
I
Valentine
think it's
predated
Cynthia.
this.
Yeah. I think it's Cynthia.
And then they have this really weird kiss. And then
Oh yeah, that was like one of the worst screen kisses
it was
of
terrible.
all time.
And then that's it. They
You
just
know
go
what?
about their business.
The worst part of
Yeah.
that screen kiss was when Gene Simmons burst in.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing? What
Like,
are you doing?
Why are you
What
messing
are
around
you doing?
like this?
Yeah.
Because he has that really
And then he
long
went back
tongue.
and
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
went top with his tongue was
Yeah.
That's when the
Just
cat
hanging
man,
right out.
the cat man came in and slithered his way into the
Peter
pipe.
Chris.
None of this happened. None of that happened in the movie.
It was all just one of his
Gene
ways.
Simmons,
One of the
there's no
many
cat.
fantasy sequences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's the weird thing. The secretary comes over and he's clearly fucked up, and he's like, I can't remember what he says, but she's clearly turned on because he's
She's
like
staring
because
at him.
he's a successful provider and fucking.
And he's got those cheekbones. Those
And
razor
those
sharp
okay,
cheekbones.
cheekbones.
Can we establish this? Peter Weller is not an attractive man, in my opinion.
He's kind of a weird looking dude.
He's a weird looking dude.
He's a character actor.
but
I've always thought he's a character
He's
actor.
not an unattractive man because
No,
he's
yeah.
he's got an interesting face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And he's more conventionally attractive in this movie, a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Than in his
Then
old-
I'll
he's
give
a
you
little
that.
more than he is later when he's more of a character face.
especially when it's
Right?
covered in
Like
metal.
yeah.
Because
Well,
even like Buckaroo Banzai.
yeah, no, he's more of a character guy by that point.
I mean, let's face it. There's a reason he was the star of Naked Lunch. It's because he's
Yeah.
so fucking weird looking, you know. But I dig that.
Yeah, well, there's
so-
weird looking dudes, but he's a weird looking
But the
guy.
character he's playing in this movie is like, you know, he's a family man, a provider, blah 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 blah.
Successful.
Secretary's got
he
got a
wears
crush
one of those
on him.
scarves that actually don't keep you warm. You know those.
Yeah,
those
well, not
dirty
if, not if
scarves
you
that-
just let it hang over your shoulders.
No.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
a
like
big thing in movies.
you
though.
gotta fucking fold that shit.
Yeah.
You know. And for
It doesn't
whatever
know how to
reason,
wear a
she
scarf.
comes over and just puts her face next to his
Yeah.
awkwardly because he's
staring at
talking.
him cross-eyed like a.
Because
Like
what's he
like a
talking
deer.
about? He's
He's
talking
probably
about
talking about rats or
he's
something.
talking about
Of course he's talking about rats. What else is he gonna talk about?
he's talking
Rubber
about.
gloves.
Did you know that rats can mate 33 times in 14 seconds?
You know that rats were the first people on the moon?
Did you know? You know rats
And she's
give
all
birth
like,
to a
"Kiss me,
litter
you
of.
fool."
Yeah, and there's the worst kiss.
Yeah.
And then that's
Bad
it.
timing.
It's never
He
mentioned
kisses
in-
her,
Yeah.
but it's only after like 30 seconds of staring into each other's eyes.
I
Like,
agree, Darren. It's the worst kiss since I was made for loving you, baby.
I was made for love. There's nothing wrong with that.
And then so she,
Come on.
she
I
leaves.
love that song.
Again, Beth is a far worse.
Fuck no, Beth is a classic.
Beth, I hear
you
you
calling.
Rats, I hear you coming.
By the way,
Leave
Shannon
my
Tweed.
walls tonight.
Shannon Tweed's big break before
Being the
this.
cat,
Thrill of a
eating
lifetime.
oysters.
Oh yeah.
And you
that's
can't have it.
And you're probably gonna kill the cat for sure.
Because you know the cat's gonna die. In the
Oh,
movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that cat's gonna live.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that
So-
cat's not going to catch that mouse though,
No.
or whatever
Rat,
that
rat,
rat. Not at all.
So
Not an option, dude. Just that.
after she leaves, he's like sitting there just guzzling scotch, not just
Yeah,
sipping.
no,
he's fucking guzzling it.
Like good scotch.
Yeah, it's J&B, whatever that shitty scotch is, but it's
Yeah, what is JB?
I think it's just
Cheap
it's like,
scotch.
It's Jeep blotch.
Cheap blood.
Cheap blood
Oh,
scotch.
you got beer on the
Whoops.
Oh, be careful
Oh,
there.
camera
hey.
there.
Make sure we're still
recording.
Yeah,
we're good. So now he's just fucking.
And actually, this is when he has the dream, the nightmare of the rat coming out of the birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was awesome.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because those kids deserve to be traumatized.
No.
Totally. Like, this therapy. Hello, therapy.
Oh, that's the first nightmare. The other nightmare is the one I prefer.
What's the other nightmare?
When he's boning Shannon Tweed, and then the kid's like, I'm just gonna eat a bowl full of rats.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the kid's making the, because that's a really full form dream. Like the kid's down there, you're like, oh, the kid's back.
Yeah.
And but he's eating poison.
I thought that was really happening.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, we all agree that we thought you didn't.
No, I didn't think it was happening at all. I thought it was a dream. For sure.
You savvy.
Oh, I've seen a lot of movies. This is so he passes out in the bed, and this is when the rat's slowly pulling the sheets.
Oh yeah,
off
that's a good scene. The rat's like short sheeting his bed.
Yeah.
The rat's
while he's in it.
The rat's pulling a Harvey Weinstein. Like,
Yeah. I wrote.
The rat's jerking off in a plant. Like, look at me, I'm a rat.
Yeah, the rat. Bonus features.
No, he would ask first.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind if I jerk off?
That's the Louis C.K. rat.
Yeah, no. The bonus features of this movie.
The Harvey Weinstein rat. You want to take a shower?
in the fucking dishwasher. Watch me take a shower in the dishwasher. I'm a horrible rat.
Wait for the rinse cycle.
And then I'm gonna jerk off.
Oh my lord.
Comedy gold.
Louis Del Grand would have talked about that, but he had signed a non-disclosure agreement.
I don't get it.
Like, because he didn't see anything? Because he's not seeing things?
Harvey Weinstein imposed that.
Oh, okay, right.
I aim for the 1%, damn it, it might get there.
And you didn't even get there.
So anyways, I wrote down in my notes, as soon as I saw the cat, I wrote, no way this cat doesn't die a horrible rat-related death. For sure.
As soon as I saw him pulling the sheets off the bed, I wrote, this is not an ordinary rat.
This is no ordinary rat.
Yeah. He started going into like some heavy duty territory.
And then the next scene, he's sleeping in a chair, holding his legs.
Yeah.
In the chair. How can anyone sleep like that?
Oh.
I think he's wearing a hat too.
Yeah.
And this is when he's watching The Old Man to Sea with Spencer Tracy.
Yeah. And it's on forever.
I'm just like, wow.
Must be on a loop. That one scene's on a forever.
They filmed that, Spencer Tracy out there pulling into the same marlin all day
with his hands. It would take that long. There's no way you could do that with your hands.
But then he I think he needs a glass of milk or something. And he gets up and he goes to the fridge.
Yeah.
And he pours himself a glass of milk. And then so there's something weird and red in his milk.
Yeah.
It's blood coming from above. It's the fucking cat
whose throat has been slit.
Yeah. Execution style.
And placed
perfectly over, which he wouldn't notice because the fridge is almost the same height as him, if not shorter, because all fridges are like that. He wouldn't notice his dead corpse of a bleeding cat as he opens the fridge.
And by the way, I've seen people killed on Narcos, like less elaborately than what this rat has done.
Yeah,
no, it's like he gets a Colombian necktie. And it's like
there's a burning tire around his head.
But it's pretty gross when you're drinking something. It's like, there's cat blood in my fucking orange juice.
Fucking hate that.
Don't you know? Every fucking. Hold on. Okay, it's fantasy where kid drinks rat poison. Okay, we've established.
I have the rat destroys a whole bunch of shit. Oh, and this when he destroys the kitchen and then he's laying under the pantry where everything's just falling on him. The flour and the oats.
This rat.
That's a good scene.
And this fucking rat hasn't even eaten all of it. He's just
he
making
just
a
nibbled
point
on a little
of
bit.
letting you know. I got you, motherfucker. I keep banging the.
Well, and then his secretary comes back again. And she just wanders around the house, and there's shots of her feet and the traps.
Yeah.
I'm just, oh man, this is gonna be good. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, she's gonna step in a trap.
But it didn't happen. No, I was a little disappointed with that.
I like that.
The rat
I like
did
that
go
she
for her
didn't,
feet though a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I assume someone's gonna happen to feet because that's not rat eye level.
Now, is this before or after he's gone all Mad Max?
No, this is he's about to go all Mad Max. This is when he starts working with the baseball bat, and he's driving balls into the side of his walls. He's actually pretty good. He hits them all. Those are pretty good shots.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help him,
He
though.
takes some good cuts.
But he hasn't taken the baseball bat and driven the fucking nails
Not
into
yet.
it. And
Not yet.
all that
No.
shit. Oh, and he also puts his hand in his own rat trap.
Oh, this is coming up too. Yeah.
Oh, are we there yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But the rat is now chewed through the electrical, so he has no.
He's got no power.
And he's like, "Wow, what took you so long?
I was kind of expecting that, rat."
Is this when he has the weird tarp over his bed that he jumps on? That he's got the hammock.
Oh, he has to sleep in a hammock. He has to sleep in a hammock
because
now.
everything is ripped up.
And,
right?
then, of course, the rat drills a hole.
And he
in the
like
ceiling.
he goes into the fetal position in the hammock with the scotch.
Why did you just go get a fucking hotel?
Yeah.
At this point, just get out of the house.
Leave your house.
Yeah. Why are you staying there?
Call the military and say this fucking rat is going to evolve and destroy mankind.
And so he actually finally gets a hold of some exterminators.
Yeah.
And I'll leave the check for you.
That's right.
In the turntable. And then they show it. And then the rat's like,
No. It's under the fucking plastic of the turntable.
Yeah.
The rat must have lifted the lid
and took it out.
Deliberately chewed up. Well, actually, it did something similar earlier because I remember at one point he comes home, like in the first act of the film, and all of his papers have been chewed up.
Chewed up all the important papers.
No, and photos of his family.
Yeah.
And the rat chewed up
bit off Timmy's head or whatever.
It's like a photo of his wife's breasts. And he chewed through the nipples.
Which he really liked her breasts because he made a point of wanting to get at the breasts in the first scene of the movie too.
The rat?
No, the Weller. Peter
Well,
Weller.
yeah. But my point is the rat made it personal. The rat's I chewed through your baby's face in this photo.
But how would the rat know that that's a fucking check that he's paying the exterminator to get rid of the rat? How would he know that? Even if he says it, the rat doesn't understand. The rat doesn't understand English.
He signed it in peanut butter.
That was his first mistake. And lamb chops.
You guys not using these peanut butter pens.
And weighted it down with lamb chops.
He wrote the check in lamb chop grease.
What an idiot.
Sorry, Alex, what were you saying?
Just that it's something I just wanted to kind of insert into the podcast is that earlier we talked about how there was no idea that there was going to be a rat movie. I think you said that, and maybe you said that too.
You told me it was a rat movie.
Right, maybe it was you said it as well. But I only want to bring up the trailer for this movie. If you look it up on YouTube or wherever, really pitches this as a haunted house movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
So I think in some ways it's there's
a haunted rat.
Well, in a way, the movie does kind of have, I found at the same time, as much as it's about a man versus a rat, there's this kind of all-possessing Amityville horror kind of feel to it as well. Even though it's a physical creature.
Yeah.
It's an exaggerated version of a physical creature we all encounter, a pest or whatever, a rat. But the movie does, there's also, I think there was pressure to do kind of like making a haunted house movie. Like I know that I found that just sort of a reason for a lot of the absurdity and the fact that the rat would know that actually it should trash a check.
And this movie is, at this point, kind of a comedy. Where
it's getting more absurd as it goes along. I guess
when he puts his own hand in the rat trap is where you're just like, well, obviously that was going to happen. Hey, dumbass.
And so right now where we're at, the rat's turned off the electricity.
Yes.
And he's lit in 1,000 candles, which would probably take maybe half the day to do.
Which is also what could possibly go wrong there?
I'm thinking, man, this place is going to burn down.
He's swinging around and trying to kill the rat wildly.
He's driving nails.
I thought he was going to burn the whole place down.
Same here. He's driving nails and other rat traps into the baseball bat. As this is the going.
Okay, so there's your Mad Max after his hand, and he doesn't go to the hospital.
No, why would you go to the hospital?
He puts it. And by the way, it's the rat trap that's in the miniature version of his own house.
Yeah.
Just to make it more obvious.
He's flopping his hand around
he's
in there.
Like, where is it? Where?
Yeah.
Oh, the rat
moved it. Happen, you idiot.
Even says, I think the rat moved it, and then
it's actually pretty good. He's like, the noise that he made was pretty awesome.
The rat, now that his hand is trapped, he can't get it out of the house. He's like,
I thought the rat was going to go. I thought the rat was going to go for his eyeballs right then.
Yeah.
The
soft part.
And by the
The
way,
soft parts.
he committed genocide on this rat's family earlier in the film.
Oh right,
We
yeah.
haven't
He
really
found a
brought
bunch
that
of.
up.
He dropped them all down the sewer by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
the rat attacked him.
Yeah. I've often dropped the babies when the mothers attack me.
And then he starts screaming. He's just screaming and falls down and can barely crawl away. I hate that in movies where all of a sudden your body doesn't work anymore. You fall down and your legs don't work, your arms don't work. That never happens. Like
It happens to you all the time here at the shop.
yeah, but not when something's after me.
but not when
I've
you're
seen
being
you
attacked by a
flailing
rat.
around.
When
I've
someone
seen
asks-
people ask you a simple question like, "Where is
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and then you're
Yeah.
flailing around on the floor helpless. Like what the hell?
That's a mental reaction. That's not a fear. That's not a. Well, maybe it is a bit of a fear thing. I
He
don't know.
gives some pretty.
Gumpophobia.
Now at this point, this is where the rat starts like attacking him more frequently.
Yeah.
And you see the fucking thing.
It's personal.
And it's the size of a small dog.
It is.
I
It's
say
a
a small
big
bear.
rat.
It's the size of a big dog.
It's ludicrous how huge this rat
Well,
is.
when they're showing it under the bed, and it's like this big lump. It's like as big as the guy's kid.
Yeah.
Under the bed.
Yeah, and so he's got his hand trapped, and so he decides to take a bath for some reason in all his clothes.
Yeah,
And so he causes
That was a weird
That was
scene.
super
That was
weird.
Yeah,
That was
and
a
so
weird scene with the bath.
and of course the rat for some reason shoots through the ceiling and attacks him in the bathtub, and it's like, dude, this is your drown the fucking thing, put it in the water, step on it. The deal's done.
I thought that was the end of the movie, and he was going to drown the rat.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
But no, he screams and runs away and flails again, like he barely run
Which
away.
is what I would have done.
Oh, I
Okay.
would have stepped on that fucking thing and drowned the guy.
Is this where he has the fantasy about his kid like coming home from school and like making porridge and like?
Because that's what kids love to. Well, he was making a bowl of sugar or something.
Yeah.
It's just a bowl of sugar with milk
Sugar
and rat poison.
He's basically
Sugar
mixing
and
rat poison and milk and going, I'm going to drink this now, while he's boning his wife.
Yeah.
And then the rat attacks his wife naked. Is it an excuse to show Sharon Tweed naked?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and then he calls her and she's on this weird little. I thought it was a tennis court, but it was a badminton court, and there's a phone right there. Like she says
everywhere she goes,
there's a phone.
Dude, she's Shannon Tweed.
Yeah.
So that's in a rider. Everywhere I go, there has to be a phone.
I wrote down.
I'm in the middle of the ocean. I need a phone.
They're playing badminton in a prison.
Yeah.
Because it's all chained up, and there's one really high window. It's just, there's like big fences. It's like what's going on?
So
here?
now he's like super nuts, and he still somehow has a job, and he goes back to work. And he's just like asleep at his desk.
Yeah. And everyone's looking at him.
And his boss gives him 2 more weeks for the big contract. It's like,
I would have fired your asses so fast.
You better watch out, because that guy who was fucking kissing my ass earlier with
Who's
the
staring at you while
hockey
you're
shit.
sleeping.
It's like you got 2 more weeks. Oh no. He sits his boss down and goes, here's how it's gonna be, buddy. I got some shit I gotta deal with.
This is when he's in his bomber jacket and in his hairdo.
Oh, and he's just sitting there like fucking James Dean in the lobby of the building, and the boss is like, "There's fucking clients everywhere."
That's all the boss can say is, "Don't let the staff see you like this."
Yeah, you're wearing your members only jacket.
Yeah.
And by the way, Darren, I've heard you say that a few times to Dylan when he's like nude in the store.
Yeah.
Don't let the staff members see you like this.
Well, you know,
Not the clients.
Some days before we open, because we have this cage in front of the door there, I'll just be like sitting there in Speedos, just thinking about shit.
Did you say Speedos?
Thinking about the rat in your wall.
Aren't they called Speedos? In a pair of Speedos, just thinking about rats. And it's like, hey, Dylan, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not gonna. Here's how it goes, Darren.
I'm not good.
Listen up, D. I got some shit I gotta deal with, and here's how it's gonna be.
Okay, sir.
So you can take your business and shove it up your ass.
Your rat ass.
The thing is, if he had probably taken, because his boss seems like pretty open-minded. If he just said, "Can we have a moment?" Okay, look.
I've got this rat.
There's this crazy rat in my wall, and like it means a lot to me that my kid isn't living with a rat in the wall, and
poison and traps.
I can't seem to kill this thing, so I just need some vacation time to go kill this rat.
Yeah.
His boss would be like, yeah, no problem. But
Or
it's,
he might think it's a little bit crazy. Yeah, sure, you go kill your
or
rat.
like, come on over and just see. Like, look, the fucking rat. Whatever.
Look what I've done to my house.
Yeah, exactly.
But instead he's like, look, asshole,
Yeah.
who pays me? Look, fucking like.
Who I'm doing this giant project for, which I'm not doing anything on because
I'm gonna do my work when I do my fucking work. Now he's gearing up for the big fight with the rat.
He's putting the nails. Well,
This is when he's doing the
I always
nails.
thought he put the nails through the baseball bat, then he filed the nails down. Like,
That's true.
Like, do you need to file nails down? Aren't they already pointy?
Yeah, he's making them pointier.
More pointier.
He
I
needs
thought
business.
that was pretty funny. And then once he starts, he's not even getting close to the rat.
No,
He's
he's
just
not even
smashing everything.
trying.
He's not even trying.
He's not even trying to hit the rat.
He's
He's
just
just
wrecking
like,
everything.
Oh no.
he's going Charles Foster Kane on that place.
But before this.
Well, it was an homage to Citizen Kane,
Yeah, obviously.
Before this
Homage to
happens, the
Citizen Kane.
secretary shows up yet again.
Yeah.
And she's all like, Bart, you're going crazy or whatever. And you just hear him through the window going, leave us alone.
And then the sightseeing guy's on the ladder.
Yeah.
And then he comes down.
You're just trying to piss me off at this point, aren't you?
Sorry, seeing things.
things.
And so he
Louis. His name is Louis.
And there's a small door that he just walks in, and then he's in the guy's house.
Yeah.
He's in his
That little
basement.
door, his little freaky
You know,
door.
Open the little door. It's unlocked on the street.
I'm just down here checking out your stuff.
Yeah. And he's not even concerned that this guy is totally off his rocker. And he's got this weapon. I think he's wearing shin pads at this point.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey,
he's wearing like hockey gear and
Yeah, he's
stuff.
wearing all his hockey gear.
He looks like an extra from Tank Girl. Like,
Yeah.
like
Or a Mad Max ripoff. Maybe like Dead End Driving.
What?
Ah,
Don't bring that
There's
up.
a connection.
You guys are still holding that against me?
a little bit.
I like Dead End Driving. Anyways. And then you see how big this fucking rat actually is.
Yeah. And it attacks him, it chases him around, he screams, he swings, he knocks over all his lamps, he smashes all his tables.
He smashes a lot of stuff.
He actually
he has a lot of glass furniture.
a lot of glass
you find
furniture.
out.
He actually smashes one of the water pipes in his basement.
Yeah.
Doesn't think to move to turn the water off.
Yeah.
I'll let the whole block flood.
So he has a big fight with the rat.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was a pretty decent fight.
It was okay. He
It
chased
was
it
okay.
around. The continuity was all over the place, but it didn't really matter.
No.
The rat's in the basement. It's in the kitchen. It's in the bathroom. It's in the
Yeah.
bed. Whatever. It's in the living room. It was a point of Peter Weller to stagger around his house uncontrollably like a drunk man, swinging a
at whatever.
baseball bat with spikes in it at everything that he owned.
Yeah, but he was also wearing like knee pants. Like he looked like
He was wearing shin pads.
a Mad Max, fucking like
Yeah.
you know.
Or a cricket player.
Yeah.
Like it was like it was ridiculous the way he was just haphazardly not even coming close.
But he
to hitting
finally
the rat.
got the fucking thing.
Finally, and then it was dumb because the rat just sat in the stupid little house that he made, and he just
No,
spiked it.
it was in the water when he killed it.
I thought it was in his house, that stupid
No,
house.
it was in there at one point. He smashed the house, which
And then- and
was
that's when he-
very symbolic. And then the rat wound up in the water, and then he got it in the water, and he fucking managed to bash his fucking brains in.
Anyways,
so
he-
it drowned it.
It
So actually, that
did drown.
Yeah.
So he killed the rat at the very end,
Yeah.
and then
And he's not really that happy about it either, though. At the end, he's
I thought he was pretty happy, wasn't he? Wasn't he happy?
I just think he's exhausted.
he's just exhausted. He goes outside and sits down. He's just like,
Well, it's like Roy Scheider and
Yeah,
Richard
yeah.
Dreyfuss and the
He's
other
just
Josie.
like-
They're like, we're so happy.
yeah.
And
They're
then-
exhausted.
And
They're
then
exhausted.
about
But you
5
know,
minutes
they-
after he's finally killed the rat,
Family comes home.
his wife comes home,
Wife comes
with
home.
his kid. And
Best explanation ever to the wife. What does he tell her? He did while she was away?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
I had a party.
Oh right.
Yeah, I have.
Well, and she's like, "What about the luggage?" He goes, "Fuck the luggage."
Yeah.
Which is my favorite line of.
Which is like, well, why you
I
fucking
know.
the luggage?
It's
Did you
New
leave it on the
York
street?
City in the early 80s.
Yeah, that luggage
They-
has already been stolen.
Exactly.
That luggage is in Queens by now.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be because you see them walk into the house, and then I expected Shannon Tweed to go, "What the fuck happened here, you
I
maniac?
know.
What the
It
hell?"
was destroyed.
And so she's like, "Whoa, what happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had a party."
And we destroyed that whole house.
And she's like, "Well, what about the luggage?" He's like, "Fuck the luggage." And all I can think is, oh, he's taking her upstairs to fuck the shit out of her because he feels like such a man for finally
Yeah.
beating
But what
the
was
shit
the
out of
kid?
a fucking rat.
Your kid, go eat some poison.
Yeah, yeah.
You can go have some rat poison.
Or go find a floating giant rat
Yeah.
Or
corpse in
go
the basement.
go eat a birthday cake. It's in there for you.
Or go turn the water off at least.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the kid can start cleaning.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then The credits roll,
Yeah.
and it's funded by famous players, exactly like Black Christmas.
Tax shelter movie.
Which means it's a Canadian whatever.
Tax shelter film.
I mean, it was very clearly Canadian.
My favorite credit was Watches by Mong.
Mong?
M-A-U-G. Mong. Apparently there's some watches in the movie that people wore. I didn't know there was any watches. But apparently the watches were provided by a company
That was
Mong.
very subtle product placement.
Watches by Mong.
Maybe the robot was wearing
The
a
robot
watch.
was wearing a Mong watch.
Yeah.
So
this movie had a lot of things going. It had, man versus nature. It had robots. It had, for some reason, a lone...
Singular, not plural.
Yeah.
Robot.
A robot. Rats generally are not. I don't think they're
lone wolves.
They're not lone wolves. They live in family packs and stuff. And it was a lady rat who had babies, but there was no
deadbeat dad rat.
Deadbeat dad rat.
So
yeah, it had a lot going for it.
I thought it was a highly enjoyable.
Yeah.
Little thing and holds up well. Like I said, I really like the photography.
Let's throw this right to you right now.
Yeah. What I really liked about it was for me the best thing about it was the photography, and the plot was the plot. It was one of these kind of movies, right? It was fairly typical, but I just thought it was really well photographed. I loved the creepy POV stuff at the beginning and the hands that Dylan didn't like. I thought
those are rat hands.
I thought they were creepy and cool because it made it creepier for me.
You know why he didn't like it? Because he can't picture those little hands going through his hair.
Well, exactly. They don't look like the hands that you want going through your hair.
They're like suckers on them or something.
Yeah. Right.
Little pink, gross hands.
Yeah.
So would you say it holds up? It's a good.
Yeah,
watch?
I think not all 80s horror movies. Suspense movies hold up, and I think this one does. I think it's fun. It's it's not exactly it's not the Citizen Kane of rat movies.
Well, it might be whatever rat movies.
I don't know.
There's
other Willard and stuff.
Secret of Nim.
Food of the Gods.
Food of the Gods.
Yeah, there you go. So there's some other rat movies, but
there are other rat movies.
But yeah, Ratcatcher. That's not really a rat movie.
That's not right. I don't think there's any rats in it actually. But yeah, I'm gonna agree. I thought it was a blast.
Yeah.
And I also because I have a relation with rats.
Yeah,
right now,
yeah. So
it had an extra dimension of terror for me. And so yeah, I thought it was great. They're kind of absurd as it went along.
Oh, for sure.
And just I don't understand why this rat hated this guy so much. It went out of its way. Maybe because
you thought the guy was pretentious.
So he didn't like the way he wore his scarf?
Yeah, I think so. He didn't like that whole scarf.
How about the way he annihilated her family?
Well, that was an accident.
That was later.
He was the rat was already.
And also,
the rat was already terrorized.
True.
The rat started it.
The rat totally started. I think it all goes back to Shannon Tweed's rat coat at the beginning.
Yeah, it was that rat coat.
She wasn't wearing the rat fur coat.
She didn't have the rat fur coat.
Yeah, I think that.
I think it's her association with the Catman. I agree with Dylan's theory, but
yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yes, I'm gonna recommend this movie. It holds up. I think it was totally fun.
I will be recommending it to people at Black Dog.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. People come in. Hey, you got any movies about rats?
or
Peter Weller movies.
But I will say, if anybody out there has rat problems, and I do, we've had exterminators come in. I paid like $800 to get these fucking rats out of my house, and nothing's worked. Because the house we have is it's over 100 years old, and so there's so many ways that rats can get in. According to Peter Weller, a rat can squeeze into a hole the size of a quarter.
That's actually true.
The couple things I found have worked. I downloaded the sound of a rat in distress. It's screaming. You play that, and the rats go away for a while.
You didn't even think about where they got that tape.
Oh, I don't give a shit. Fuck, I want those fucking things dead. If I could hire Joe Pesci to come over and kill those rats, I would. And we also a friend recommended one of those diffusers where you put scented peppermint oil with water.
I don't think anyone is going to listen to this podcast because they're trying to get rid of rats.
In this week's episode,
but if I can touch one life in a positive way.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to Black Dog After Dark.
Tonight don't work.
Tonight we're going to discuss
how to get rid of rats.
In other news, a movie called Of Unknown Origin.
Anyways, get back to the movie. Yes, watch this movie. It's a ton of fun. Watch it with some friends. Drink some pops. enjoy yourself.
It's the Forrest Gump of rat movies, according to Darren.
I would never say that. I like the movie.
I like Forrest Gump.
It's not the Citizen Kane.
You two sided at the same
We
time.
sided at the same time with that because fuck Forrest Gump.
It's the I would say it's more the Dances with Wolves of rat movies.
I also like Dances with Wolves.
I like Dances with Wolves as well.
You need somebody with shit taste to keep you guys grounded.
Keep us honest.
With a proletariat watch
Right.
and enjoy.
So what did you think of this movie? That
I
being
fucking
said?
loved it. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Peter Weller, RoboCop's gonna fight a rat? How do you top that?
I'm in.
Has there ever been a better movie ever made? I doubt it.
I think not.
Adored it.
So it is the Citizen Kane of rat movies.
Absolutely. Like, given the choice between watching Citizen Kane again or watching this again, I will always watch this again.
Yeah. Well,
Somebody's watched Citizen Kane more than 100 times.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
That is
pretty impressive.
Very.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a good pick. I would absolutely recommend this to anybody.
What about Alex, whose pick it was?
Well, I gotta say,
Fucking hated it.
I can't believe I picked it. I'm such a moron.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Really?
I thought it sucked. So no, just joking. Seriously, no. I
enthralled
smiled.
there for a second.
I smiled from start to finish. And the funny thing is, I was at my other job that night. I was at the Rio Theater. The night I was going to go watch this. My friend Daniel, who works with me there, another programmer, he actually said to me, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "I'm going to go home to watch Of Unknown Origin." He goes, "What's that?" And I go, it's a Peter Weller versus Rat movie that I heard about through a John Waters recommendation. He was like, "That sounds like the best movie ever," but whatever, right? And I even though he hadn't seen this movie, I agreed with it. I went home, I watched it.
Did you invite your friend to come?
I
and
didn't
watch it?
invite him. He was
Ah,
working later. Well,
heartless.
actually, you know what? That's
Fuck
not
him.
true. That's not true. I did suggest, hey, maybe we could watch it, but he was too busy.
Right.
I went home and watched it alone that night, and I smiled from start to finish. I was like, thank you, John Waters, for, I know Scorsese resurrects all these awesome art films through his...
I'll always go with John Waters' pick.
But like John, but Martin Scorsese and like Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, they've all helped out like Akira Kurosawa and stuff. So I'm really glad that John Waters turned me on through this trivia book all those years ago.
And now
I really did enjoy it start to finish. I'm really glad to hear that you three also agreed.
Yeah,
So
it was a blast.
and all I can say is in the movie, yes, that's a level of absurdity, but yeah, all I can say, this movie, it's one of a kind. It's, dare I say it, rat shit crazy.
Well, I thought you were going to say rat-tastic.
Okay, my sister used to work at the Arts Club Theater down in Granville Island. And for those of you not from Vancouver who are listening, Granville Island it used to be like a toxic waste dump basically, and then they filled it in,
So
you have these giant rats, like really huge rats down in Granville Island. And so my sister was bored one day, and she knows that they put all these rat traps out at fucking Granville Island because there were these huge rats.
So she put her hand in one?
No. She wrote these little. She would go and spring the traps and then leave a little note, in all scratchy letters, going like, "We rats are far too intelligent for you people. Try harder next time."
That's great.
Try harder next time.
So this episode is dedicated to my sister,
That's awesome.
Jennifer Reimer. Okay, so we are on to the very, very final segment. Pairings.
Oh yeah.
Josie, you're working 2 for 1 Monday at Black Dog Video. Every Monday is 2 for 1 at Black Dog Video.
Yeah,
Somebody comes
I've heard
in
that.
and rents Of Unknown Origin. What movie do you recommend that they pick up as well?
Well, be on the spot.
Or do you want to wait while we do ours?
Actually, like go around the table there.
All right, I'll go
Because
first.
I had one
All right.
a few minutes ago, and then we got talking, and I forgot.
I'm going to go with a movie that we mentioned actually earlier in the podcast, which I watched last week with my kid, was Tremors. Which is a kind of a similar kind of thing about a freaky giant thing that's attacking people. Ton of fun. Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, the dad from Family Ties, and Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Michael Gross.
Oh,
Gross.
that's right. Reba McEntire's in that.
Yeah.
No, it's a ton of fun about giant worms attacking
Tremors
people.
is amazing, man.
It'd be a good double bill. It's
And
a fun.
and it's a similarly low budget.
It's low budget. It's got more of a comedy than a horror,
Yeah.
but it's really well paced. It's really well made, and it's a ton of.
And also the good thing with Tremors is it's a lot about what you're not seeing, because you very rarely see the monsters in Tremors.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
they have a point of view sometimes of the worm thingy, whatever the fuck it is, going through the ground.
graboid. It's called a graboid.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If you'd watched the film, you would have known.
I did watch. I watched it last week.
But yeah, They decided it's called a grab wipe, but whatever.
Anyways, yeah, that's my pick.
It's a fine pick.
Thank you.
Now,
I finally got a good pick in that you approve of.
Well, yeah. Well,
all my picks you disapprove of.
Even though you still hate Forrest Gump for no apparent reason.
Well, because it's garbage.
There's a lot of reasons to hate Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
There are.
Anyways.
I was thinking initially for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because I was like, this guy's going nuts.
Yeah, I can see that.
That didn't quite work, and then I was thinking maybe Alien, because it's it's all about
But that's actually a good horror movie.
I got a really good one now.
But what I settled on is an underrated film from the 1990s called Mouse Hunt.
Star Wars.
So I'm going to go with, has anyone here seen Mouse Hunt?
I've not seen Mouse Hunt. I think I heard of it when it came out.
Wait, hold on.
I remember hearing about it, but I never saw it.
Not all of us watch just kids' film.
Well, Mouse Hunt's like a really, really funny movie about a couple of exterminators who are called over to catch a mouse.
Wow, I don't see the parallels.
And
I don't get it.
And the mouse is so much smarter than them, and they just can't catch it.
So it's like Home Alone, but with a mouse.
It's not like Home Alone.
We should have recommended Home Alone. Then we would have went, good one.
No, you just took Alex's pick now.
Never mind.
Who's in it? Who's in it?
Nathan Lane, Christopher Walken.
Really?
It's really funny.
I remember seeing the trailer for it, but
I know the movie you're talking about.
It is hilarious. Mouse Hunt is hilarious.
Do we
it's
have
one
it?
Of the, it's one of the. I don't know if we do because you keep taking good movies and selling them for $5.
You mean like Biodome?
Well, that wasn't.
Yeah, actually, we should have saved that.
We did it.
So bad it's good.
Well, we did. We did. I saved it. It's right over there.
Yay, Biodome.
I keep taking all of our good movies.
I can't remember who directed Mouse Hunt, but it's got this very.
I think it was Gore Verbinski. Possibly.
I thought it was you, Dylan.
It might be Gore.
I think it was Gore Verbinski.
The thing is, I like Gore Verbinski. Oh,
well, if it's Gore Verbinski, it's probably about 2.5 hours, 3 long.
Anyways, it's a really funny movie. It's very cartoonish, but it's actually incredibly intelligent.
It's a kids movie, right?
Yeah, it's a kids movie. Yeah.
You like kids movies.
I do like kids movies.
Yeah.
Alex, what's your
pick?
Well, there's three possible pairings.
Three.
I'll keep it brief.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
It is Gore Verbinski.
I'm just gonna lay my head down here.
If you attempt to rent Jaws or Repulsion,
What do you attempt? It's not like a thing that may or may not happen.
If you rent,
there's a test.
I lost an arm.
Not on my watch.
Anyways,
Alex.
so one attempts to watch rent Jaws or Repulsion.
If you rent Jaws or Repulsion, I will tag this movie on as a recommendation. However, if you rented this movie alone on my recommendation or just picked it out, the movie I suggest you watch it with is The Hand, Oliver Stone's
Michael Caine.
First movie. Michael Caine, yeah.
We don't have that one.
We don't have it. We might have it at Campy.
We can't recommend it.
Well, I'd say go look it up on YouTube.
You can't do that.
Then go get Food of the Gods. A shot in BC man versus nature film that's totally absurd.
Aren't there large rats in that one?
There is indeed.
I've never seen The Hand. I've always wanted to see it. Is that any good?
Why The Hand?
Yeah, why The Hand?
Because you were masturbating the whole time you watched this movie?
God.
He calls himself The Hand.
Oh.
Josie, what would you pair it with?
Oh, goodness. So I had an idea, right after you said, "Oh yeah, we'll move on." Then I have my idea. I would actually pair it up with. I'm gonna smack the table when I say it.
Keep smacking.
I would pair it up with, and I think this is a really good pick. The only feature film directed by Saul Bass.
Oh.
Phase 4.
Which is
about ants.
It is.
And there's lots of POV. And the ants are way smarter than the people.
Yeah,
People get really obsessed.
That is a great pick.
Isn't Saul Bass the guy that did movie posters and stuff?
He's the guy who did all the titles for the Pink Panther and stuff.
He made a movie.
Anyway, sorry.
No, wait. I got it.
Too
My
late, dude.
perfect pick.
Too late,
Josie's well into her pick.
I'm going to do my pick. Phase 4. And it just it works on all those levels.
I'm going to watch this movie.
Yeah. And I watched that last year with 2 years ago. I was doing little film festival reviews for my review blog. Mm-hmm. And I did a 70s sci-fi movies that aren't Star Wars.
Cheers, thanks.
Right, or Close Encounters, or
right.
you know, the big famous, the big famous things, right?
That's great because it's movies people haven't really heard of before and that are good.
So that was one of them that I picked, right? But actually, all the ones I picked were actually like worth watching.
Right.
Maybe not great films per se. It's a solid sci-fi film.
Oh, cool.
Here's the thing. I fuck, my picks sucked. I'm sorry. It just dawned on me.
What's your new pick?
Scanners. Make it a Louis Del Grand double bill.
Oh, there you go.
Sure.
Not
Scanners.
bad. Or Seeing Things, the motion picture.
Anyways, let's wrap this up.
Commercial Drive at Grand Street is also
on Canby Street.
On Canby Street, across from the Park Theater.
Last video store standing in town.
Last video
Enjoy
store
it while
standing.
you can.
Oh, yeah. Come and visit us. This is the end of the podcast. Good night.
Good night.
The Black Dog After Dark podcast is recorded at Black Dog Video on Commercial Drive in Vancouver, Canada. It's presented by Alex Chisholm, Darren Gay, and Dylan Reimer. It is produced by Dylan Reimer and Darren Gay. Alex just kind of stands there and drinks beer. The intro and outro music was recorded by Tiger Burning Bright, composed by Jeff, who works at Jefferson's Barbershop, also on Commercial Drive. And he's a damn good hairstylist.
You take your average rat, it can wriggle through a hole no bigger than a quarter, swim half a mile and tread water for 3 days. They can eat through lead and concrete with these teeth that are like chisels that exert an unbelievable 24,000 pounds per square inch per tooth. They can survive being flushed down a toilet and enter a building by the same route. They can fall 5 stories down to the ground, run off unharmed. And 2 rats, mind you, give you 20 million rats in less than 3 years. And they say now there's as many rats on this planet now as people. You know, in this country, we kill them to get rid of them, but in some countries, like the Philippines, they kill them because they have to eat them, because that's all there is. Stringy chicken. And in some country, I don't know which one, they serve it as a delicacy, like chocolate-covered bees or caviar, a filthy rat on fine china.